Bob, Rob, and Ram. Nobody asked, but we give you our opinions. Acknowledge us like Roman Reigns to all his minions. Coming from the grave like our name was Undertaker. Women's wrestling is cool, but where the hell is Britt Baker? Coherence takes abandon all hope. We talk shit like Ricochet from the top rope. We are marks, sometimes we're friendly. Sometimes we show our whole ass like Mandy. We are Mick discussing what is the latest. Jericho is the GOAT, but Sid is our favorite. We are marks. We are marks.
What's going on, Marks? Welcome back to the podcast. It's the We Are Marks podcast. Why? Because we are Marks. I'm your host. My name is Ram. Robin, Bob. What's going on, gentlemen?
What's going on, America?
How is everybody doing out there?
Oh, man. You guys gave me nothing to work with there. So we're going to start it out with my favorite thing from wrestling this week. And that was the opening segment of Monday Night Raw. I spent the first 5 minutes of it, Roman Reigns, Jacob Fatu, the whole bloodline. I spent the first 5 minutes of it just being like, this is so dumb. And then as we went on, pretty much from the point where Roman said, when I'm not around, you don't want to listen to the twins. And Fatu was basically like, no, hell no, I'm not listening to them. And he said, good, we don't need yes men around here. I was like, perfect. Seed planted. It ends with Jacob Fatu splashing Eric Andre for whatever reason. Eric Andre had to be the one to take that. Don't know. Irregardless, the smile on Roman Reigns' face as he made eye contact with Adam Pearce was the cherry on top of a very good start to Monday Night Raw, despite the fact that it was, a half an hour before we saw any wrestling. I know some people hate that shit. Brilliant start to the show.
Yeah, definitely took a little bit, like you said, to get to. I think it was about 5-10 minutes in before Roman even said anything. I do think, look, Jacob Fatu's great. I wanted him to win the championship. I think very highly of him, and I think he's doing a good job in the role. My only concern, what is it going to lead to? I think that him and Roman having this match and this ends at that point, and maybe Jacob winning the title would be great, because I think that way. But we also have the Oba Femi situation we've talked about multiple times, and crowning him and beating Roman Reigns. So I'm just not sure where it ends. And I'm definitely not interested in the Usos dynamic. They just do nothing for me. I know we're going to talk about Jay later, but I don't need to see Jacob squashing those guys. I think they're the least interesting part of the bloodline right now.
Yeah, I'm going to pile on Bob here. And my problem is I have this weird feeling that Jey Uso is going to win the King of the Ring, and he is going to defeat Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam because Oba Femi is going to get screwed by Brock Lesnar. I would love Oba Femi to win the King of the Ring. But at the same time, storyline and what I've been seeing, Brock Lesnar is going to screw Oba Femi. Jey Uso is going to win that other belt, and we are going to have Jey Uso champion saying that he's better than Roman Reigns because that's the title that's more prestigious. And that is going to be the bloodline thing with Jacob Fatu just being in the background. That is what I'm worried about. And I hope that is not the case. But at the same time, what I am seeing on TV and what I know about wrestling in general is that I feel like that is what's going to happen.
Yeah, I also think Jey Uso is going to win the King of the Ring. Okay, I was very disappointed in that, obviously, but the positive that I see in it is that I don't think Jay is going to win, and I think that's going to start the Roman being like, what's going on, man, kind of a thing. Jay's going to throw a hissy fit. Jay's going to leave the bloodline, completely different bloodline. Fuck Jey Uso. He's going to fuck off by himself, do a heel thing, probably. And I think that's a great call. Also, a little caveat to that is that Cody Rhodes is facing Gunther tomorrow night on SmackDown for the title with Sami Zayn as the special guest referee. I have a pretty good feeling Gunther's winning that match.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think to go along those lines, what's a shame is if Rob is correct and Jey Uso does win and challenge Cody, is I actually think that this is kind of interesting. I do believe, as we've all said on this podcast, that Cody losing the belt and being on the chase would be great. But what Sammy as a character is doing in that dynamic is interesting. Gunther's great. I think he should be remaining in a top spot. I think he should win the belt. And I think throwing Jay in this mix is the worst thing that could happen to SmackDown. SmackDown needs change, but the change does not come from the bloodline. The change needs to be the people that you have, putting them in positions, putting Cody Rhodes in a challenger's position, not getting under the Roman Reigns bloodline umbrella.
And that's the thing. If Gunther wins this title, Jey Uso winning the title is more probability than anything else. Like, if Gunther wins this title, Jey Uso is going to beat him at SummerSlam for that title.
I just don't believe that. I just don't think.
I really do want Gunther to win, but at the same time, I think Jey Uso beats Gunther at SummerSlam then, and we have I'm the champion. I'm the head of the family. This is the real title. Your title was only made because you never showed up.
Yeah.
I honest to God think that if Gunther wins this title at this point, it's just going to lead to bloodline versus bloodline for titles,
They
which
can't.
is not what I want.
They can't possibly give us another Jey Uso title reign. They can't possibly think we want Jey Uso to be in that kind of story. They can't possibly. It's not possible that they could still feel like Jey Uso should be in the main event of any show. That's crazy.
Well, regardless of whether or not he becomes the champion, it is the most likely outcome right now that he will be in the title match at SummerSlam, which, quite frankly, to me is bad enough. I mean, him winning the title would be the cherry on top of this shit Sunday, but he's probably going to be in that title match. And even that waters down everything you've been doing on SmackDown. So it's just it just makes this next match, it makes what Sammy's doing useless, in my opinion, if this is where we're going.
And to Bob's point, what the fuck is Sami Zayn doing as a special guest referee? What are we doing here? Why?
Well, that's actually good. I do enjoy Sammy's character right now. I enjoy
It's
Sami's
interesting.
character too, but what are we doing as a special guest referee?
screwing Cody. That's what I think.
For what? For Gunther to win?
Yeah.
And what, we're going to have a feud, a mid-card feud with Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes?
Yeah, let's do it.
Why?
Because then Cody doesn't have to be the champion at the moment.
Okay.
Boom. Get after it. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to have Sami Zayn be the special guest referee unless it was for something like that. Or like he has to bring himself to count Gunther out because they'll never actually turn Sami Zayn heel, apparently. They'll just have him play this, am I a heel? Am I not? Forever. And we'll never actually know. So maybe it's just he has to reluctantly count to 3 for Gunther to beat Cody. But
well, one thing we know, we're damn sure is not going to happen, is Sami Zayn. We have all these options. He will not become the WWE champion. That we can be rest assured that's not going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed. So anyway, we started talking about the segment from Raw and we got right into it. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. I mean, all right, something else, guys, that I very much like this week. Chad Gable has gotten so goddamn over. We brought it up last week. It only intensified this week. Chad Gable has gotten so over in 2 weeks. It is blowing my mind. And it is a crying shame that it'll never be more than I've been seeing people calling this a push. Is this a push? It doesn't.
I don't know if it's a push.
It feels like they're getting him on TV. He's getting big cheered, and he's stuck in this lower mid card that he'll never get out of. It's a shame.
he feels like one of those guys, and we've seen him in the past, where because of the fan response right now to Chad Gable, he's been elevated, but the company hasn't had a chance to pull him back down to earth yet. But no, I thought it was good. I wish they didn't change the song. I wasn't a huge fan of that change, but um, no, I said it last week. Still believe the same thing. It's a little bit weird with Penta being the champion. He probably shouldn't be challenging a luchador and taking their title, but I do think he would be the perfect intercontinental champion. He's great in the ring, and he does the character stuff really well, as we've seen over the past year, basically.
And that is his ceiling. It's a
Yeah.
mid-card title. And I hate it. I really do. But there's no way you can put the world title on him. The Intercontinental Channel Championship is his ceiling. Honest to God.
Yeah, it is absolutely. But he could be a very good
Oh
intercontinental.
no, he could be great and he could hold it for a year. He could have that Gunther run as the Intercontinental Champion. It's just that's all he is. And
Yeah.
it sucks because he's a great wrestler. He's one of the best wrestlers on the planet. But he's 5'8", and that's all there is to it. Like, you can't take it seriously.
It's a crying shame that when they decided during COVID they were going to do a little experiment with the Money in the Bank Championship, they had Otis climb up there and grab the briefcase and not Chad Gable. That would have been a lot better than The Miz having the title for a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, we already talked about the King of the Ring. Javon Evans and Jey Uso are facing off to go up against Oba Femi. Just wondering if you guys had changed your prediction from last week, which I'm pretty sure that you did.
Right. No, I mean, I expect Jay to win. I would say 98%. Sure. I mean, the only other option is LA Knight could cost Jey Uso. I mean, there's definitely something happening there, but I just don't think they've done anything to make you believe that this is Javon Evans' climb to a SummerSlam title match.
The fan in me wants Oba Femi to win the King of the Ring and somehow Brock Lesnar get a championship and Oba Femi win the championship at SummerSlam. The realist in me, who has watched wrestling for the last 30 years of his life, tells me that's not going to happen, and Brock Lesnar is going to screw him and Saudi. So with that being said, I want Oba Femi to win, but I don't see it happening.
Well,
And
let me ask this question to you guys. Maybe I'm not seeing everything clearly. Why would Brock come back at this point besides something like that? I mean, that's where I see
that's
there
where
being
I'm
a
at
chance
too.
with Oba is
because Oba's been calling him out every week. I mean, that's it. It's simple as that.
Yeah, but if the man retired, and here's the thing, the man retired at SummerSlam. He was at peace with it, right? And then he came home and he's like, there's still that feeling in his mind that there's unfinished business, and Oba Femi is the reason that there's unfinished business. And he came out and he beat him. Not some screwy way, not some low blow, not some shenanigans. He straight up beat him. Why is he not at peace now?
Well, number one, he did jump him before the bell. But regardless of that, if you're Brock Lesnar, and some punk kid is in the middle of the ring calling me a bitch, that gets him up off the couch. It's simple as that. Absolutely simple.
Well, I think
on the line.
If this is going to be that Brock shows up, then I definitely think that they should have done what Rob had said, and it should have been like a low blow or something. They're not quite as definitive as that was, because if Brock came back to prove he could beat Oba, he did that. I mean, he destroyed him. So I'm not sure why he would be coming back for another one. And
that's the thing. Even before you said it was before the bell. Like, Brock Lesnar had that plan. He had a game plan. He perfected his game plan. He did exactly what he said he was going to do. Why is he coming back unless it's not for a belt? I would much rather have Gunther win a belt, have Brock Lesnar beat him, and have Oba Femi win that title. And I'm being dead serious. I would much rather have Oba Femi beat Brock Lesnar for a title than just have a match between Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi, because that makes a hell of a lot less sense.
Okay, so I'm not necessarily understanding here. Why would he come back for the championship?
Because it's Brock Lesnar and he likes titles. He's a prize fighter.
I'm not on the side of Brock coming back to face Cody. I'm on the side of Brock coming back because Oba's the champion, and the guy who he just kicked his ass took that and turned it into a championship, and that would piss Brock off.
But then
I'd take that too.
Brock doesn't wrestle in Minnesota.
Right. And that's my problem. So here's the scenario. Gunther is the legend killer. Gunther is the guy who retires people. Gunther sits there and says, I want to retire Brock Lesnar at the one before SummerSlam, which is, I don't even know what it is at this point. But Gunther keeps calling out Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar says, bitch, you got it. Brock Lesnar beats Gunther, and we have Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar for that title at SummerSlam.
Is there another pay-per-view before SummerSlam?
God, I hope so.
Well, the other thing is SummerSlam is this is one of those they would not do this, but SummerSlam is 2 nights, and Roman does not have a clear challenger. You could have one night be Oba wins the title, and you could have the second night be the trilogy, and he beats Brock Lesnar. And if you are going to put the rocket ship up the guy's ass, having him be the main event of both nights of the pay-per-view and beating Brock Lesnar and the title, it would be a hell of a way to do it. Quite frankly, it would probably be more memorable than him main eventing WrestleMania next year, which seems like another option, and winning the title from Roman Reigns if he beat both guys back to back.
I'm gonna level with you guys. This is some outlandish fantasy booking you're both doing right now. That it just seems very illogical to me, and it does seem very logical to me that Brock Lesnar would be at home watching some punk kid call him a bitch, and now he's coming to kick his ass. So,
and again, as I said, the dreamer in me says Oba Femi has that title at SummerSlam. The realist in me says Brock Lesnar screws him.
But Ram, you're talking about illogical, and in your theory, Brock Lesnar watches Raw. What's illogical?
Good point. Okay, I have a new winner of the King of the Ring. Here we go. Gunther's gonna beat Cody tomorrow night on SmackDown with Sami as the special guest referee, and then Javon Evans is gonna win the King of the Ring, and he's gonna get his ass kicked by Gunther in the opening match on night 1 of SummerSlam.
That's a possibility too. Also, have you noticed that the most prestigious title has only changed hands on SmackDown for the last, 2 years now?
It's only changed hands on SmackDown?
Yeah.
The WWE Championship?
Yeah. Cody did it against Drew, and Drew did it against Cody, both on SmackDown.
Oh, damn. That's an interesting note.
Just saying.
Cody won the title back on SmackDown?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I guess he did.
That's an interesting note. Very interesting note. Could be third time's a charm here.
Just saying.
All on SmackDown. And then, based off of your booking, it'll change hands on the following SmackDown as well. So,
it's Brock.
I really just want Oba to hold that title at the end of SummerSlam. That's all I want. I've been saying it for a while now.
We want him to win the Royal Rumble, I'm pretty sure. So.
We did. Oh,
gosh. All right, let's talk about the women's I guess it's called the Queen of the Ring, not the Women's Queen of the Ring, just the Queen of the Ring. We were all wrong, gentlemen. We were all wrong. Raquel Rodriguez fell in the second round to Io Sky, who's going on to the finals to face either Liv Morgan or Charlotte Flair.
Certainly for match quality's sake, having the best women's wrestler win was a positive. Definitely storyline wise doesn't to me make as much sense. I'm not sure if someone's going to come and cost Liv this match, but we still haven't really figured out why Liv was in this in the first place. So that was my thought, but now it seems like it's anybody's guess on who could win. I mean, Charlotte's back on the table, and maybe he'll win and face Rhea.
So what I'm thinking right now is Liv Morgan actually beats Charlotte Flair. Io Sky beats her in match 1, says, I want a rematch at SummerSlam, and Liv Morgan beats her at SummerSlam. I think that's the route we're about to go. I'm not happy about that either, but I feel like that's what we're doing.
I really feel like they're doing Rhea and Io, and they should do Rhea and Io, and they should have Rhea beat Io for the first time at SummerSlam. That is what should happen 100%. I take that back. What should have happened was, as much as I didn't want to see her with the championship, but for story's sake, what should have happened was Raquel Rodriguez won the Queen of the Ring and challenged Liv Morgan. That's what should have happened. But since we're not getting that, they have to do Rhea and Io. God damn, it has to be. I mean, Charlotte at this point in her career. Did you guys watch the match with her and Roxanne?
Yeah.
Charlotte does not have it anymore, bro. She does not have it. That match with Rhea will be bloody disgusting. Bloody disgusting. It's SummerSlam. Put on the best show you can. It's got to be Rhea and Io.
And there is a chance that Raquel Rodriguez screws Liv Morgan, and we set that match up still for SummerSlam.
Well, I've been hoping for a Judgment Day breakup for a long time and it hasn't come. So I'm starting to think I do think one person we've forgotten about, she never got her rematch for the title, that could screw Liv Morgan and lead to the rematch is Stephanie Vicaire, because she has been gone for quite a while. So she could return and be the one if they don't go with the Judgment Day split. I have no idea where she is. She hasn't been on TV.
She was hurt though, because she was in like a walking boot for a few weeks. And then been gone. So I don't know. Maybe she was getting written off TV and she needed a surgery or something. Who knows? But that could be it. An interesting note, if memory serves, for the Queen of the Ring match, Liv did not come to the ring with Raquel, but she was with Roxanne during her match. So that is an interesting note. You know, maybe.
And she downplayed Raquel's loss. So
yeah.
To Rob's point, maybe there will be a little.
So maybe we get the best of both worlds after all. We'll get the best story possible, and we'll get Rhea and Io.
Yeah.
And Charlotte and Alexa can be in a 6-women tag match for the tag team championships.
Why not?
Perfect. Yeah, I think we pretty much hit all of it. We can talk about Rollins and Breaker being in a steel cage next week when we predict Night of Champions, which is coming up.
What title is that for?
The title of the Visionary.
I think it's the Paul Heyman Memorial title, actually.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's happening. Did I miss anything from WWE you guys want to talk about?
I don't think so.
Good. Perfect. Let's go over to AEW. And this is a rare opportunity, and it's good that we have a pay-per-view next week. Rob, did you watch this week's Dynamite yet? You're muted. You did. Okay, perfect. Because this is a rare opportunity we get to talk about this week's episode of Dynamite, because we are recording on a Thursday for once. So this is a great opportunity, especially with the pay-per-view next week, that we're able to do that. So let's get right into it. For starters, I have a question. I want you guys to maybe explain it to me. Team MJF, where he picked his team like I'm starting a season on Backyard Baseball with the Don Callis family. He was like, I'll take Pablo Sanchez right there. That was a little weird. Against Team Briscoe in a 12-man tag match in the main event. Is that not the match Briscoe had to win, or is that at the pay-per-view?
Pay-per-view. They're doing the same match in a steel cage.
Interesting. So Team MJF did win this time. I guess I just don't understand what's happening. Why did they do this 12-man tag? Why was MJF picking his team like a backyard football? And why are we doing it again? Team MJF already won this match. Why is MJ? Where's the contract that says MJF, you have to do this 12-man tag one time regular and one time in a steel cage, and if he wins, where is the contract? And why would MJF sign it? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I didn't like anything about I don't like anything about this. First and foremost, how are you going to get 12 men in a steel cage? Do you know how terrible this is going to look? This is going to
remember
look
they did do
awful.
10 last year at Forbidden Door. They did do 10.
And how bad was that?
I don't remember.
I remember they pulled out gummy bears. Remember the gummy bears spot?
Well, I just meant for spacing, not for gummy bears.
No, it was chaos for chaos's sake. I don't understand why we're doing this. If Mark Briscoe is supposed to be the number one contender, he just lost. Why are we doing this? If I'm MJF, I'm sitting here next week being like, I already beat him. I already beat his team. He assembled the Avengers and I beat him. I don't understand why I'm doing this.
I don't understand why anyone's doing this.
And if I am, again, the Don Callis family has to be part of any heel stable whatsoever. Here we are again. It's the Don Callis family and MJF versus the conglomerate and the Young Bucks. That's what we got going on right now. Why are we doing this if Mark Briscoe is the number one contender? Why not just have a match with the number one contender? I'm sorry, Okada and Takeshita are also on opposite sides. I told you guys that today, basically any storyline that is a part of AEW right now has been put into a steel cage for Forbidden Door. Everything else is irrelevant. This is the match. That's it.
Well, and Ospreay and Swerve.
Yes, the Owen Hart Cup. That's the only other two matches. You have Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr., which is going to be a great match, obviously. But there's nothing behind it other than we're going to have a great match. Everything else, I don't even know anything else that's happening in
well,
this.
I think it's not a huge marquee match. I do think they've done a pretty good job with the Christian and Cope against the Dogs, setting it up. It's just not it's not your huge tag team.
Bob, that doesn't matter because guess what? We're getting to a triple threat at All In, and everybody knows it. This is just filler.
Well, yeah, and a pay-per-view. I mean, a pay-per-view is going to be interesting or not interesting because of the main event. This main event.
Let me ask you a question. With the match card that we have now, are you paying $40 for it?
No, I don't think it's probably not, but
right.
And I think it because of the fact that the title's not on the line, it has definitely watered down the pay-per-view. I think having a bigger championship eliminator match that we just saw was not the best idea. I think the fact that Ospreay seems to be pretty much a lock to everyone's feelings has watered down that match, which could have been a bigger deal if it felt like the Owen Hart Cup was more open. The same with the Mercedes match. I don't think a lot of people are going into that match thinking Mercedes is going to lose. I think if Max was defending the title against somebody, probably would have been a better pay-per-view. I do think the undercard, I'll give it more credit. I just think the lack of a main event that's really that interesting. Even with the fact, what happens if Mark Briscoe wins? He's going to challenge on Dynamite? I mean, it's not like he's going to be the next, pay-per-view challenger in Montreal. So, I agree with those points.
Right there. And we know 5 matches right now and only 2 of them matter, but even 2 of them, we already know the outcome. Like it's Osprey and Mercedes. That's it. So the other 3 matches, Briscoe's team's gonna win. Cope and Christian are gonna win, and probably Omega's gonna beat Zack Sabre Jr. Why am I paying $40 for this right now?
Zack Sabre Jr. is going to win, because how else are we going to be able to talk about it on the podcast?
Well, it depends. I mean, Omega could win and MJF's team could win. It's not as if Mark Briscoe's going to be headlining All In. He's probably going to lose. So,
but even to that point, even if Omega wins and challenges MJF at Perdition or whatever they're calling it, what are they calling it?
I don't know.
I forget what they're calling it. Anyway, even if Omega challenges MJF, he's not winning. And if he is winning, you're having Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega just to have your 6-star match in Wembley Stadium. Then what's the point? There's no storyline behind that.
Yeah, it seems like they're just doing a lot for absolutely no reason, which is the frustrating.
Right.
That's what's really frustrating, is that we're just kind of like throwing these 12 men. Well, the Don Callis family's pretty big. They are trying to get some of them a pay-per-view paycheck, I guess. But it just seems like it seems like they're doing a lot for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
So, all right, what else can we bitch about? I got a lot from AEW to bitch about. Don't you worry. Let's talk about Chris Jericho and Tommaso Ciampa. For 2 people that I love so much, I love both of them so much. Jericho's my GOAT. Tommaso Ciampa, absolutely love him. They could not have less entertaining or less chemistry on the microphone. Like, I hope to God when they finally do have like an actual match that like it's good, but the middle school comments Chris Jericho's making to Tommaso, and Tommaso doing the 100,004 reasons that I don't like Chris Jericho. It's just so fucking corny. And 2 people that like, yeah, I guess Chris Jericho in his age, and honestly probably always was kind of corny, but it's like middle school, not funny bullshit right now. And Tommaso Ciampa is just kind of like playing the goof, and it's silly. I'm not enjoying it.
Well, Ciampa did make the comment about being, if he wants to fight him, that it's got to be more serious. So I was actually thinking that it's possible this will be the time the Painmaker returns. But I agree. I think the Jericho, when he first came back, he was doing some of the goofy shtick. It didn't bother me. I think now that we've gone through what's felt like a month, maybe a month and a half of it, that we're kind of getting to the point that it's like, okay, let's find the direction that this is going to go. There's only so many weeks that you can keep that going. So I do hope that this Ciampa feud kind of sucks the more serious side out of them, and we start to get that and figure out what direction the future holds for Jericho.
I wanted to agree with you, but at the same time, I go back to the fact that Jericho beat Ricochet and Ricochet did not get elevated from this. And I'm worried that Jericho's just going to beat Ciampa too, and Ciampa's not going to be elevated by this. I do not like Chris Jericho right now. And the fact that they're adding Ciampa, who is supposed to be the black heart, he's supposed to be serious. He's supposed to be that fuck you, I am this evil bastard, and he's doing the 1,004 things of why he doesn't like Chris Jericho, which I know was a callback to Chris Jericho and the 1,004 moves with Dean Malenko. But honest to God, does anyone care about that 30 years from later? I just don't understand what we're doing with Chris Jericho if he's having these feuds with these guys that you're supposed to elevate and they're supposed to get to the next level, and you're just going to beat them and continue on to a mid card where you're going to beat them again. Like, what is Chris Jericho's reason for being here?
Well, that's why I'm thinking it might be bigger than that, and I expect him at this point that he is going to win this feud with Ciampa, because I don't think this is the end of whatever this is is going to lead to. It doesn't seem like we're at the point, the Ricochet stuff. I don't know. There could have been other stuff that led to him winning that feud so cleanly, but I don't think that this is the feud where Ciampa's going to walk away and challenge for something. I expect Jericho is going to be the one.
Yeah. So Bob, let me ask you, what is Jericho going to challenge for?
I don't know. I don't book it, but he could be challenging. I mean, he could maybe challenge for the world title. Maybe he's going to challenge for Moxley's title. I'm not sure. But I think that, at the end of the day, Jericho is the star. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be pushing the other guys, but he is the star. He's the biggest name in this bunch that we've talked about. He's a bigger star than Ricochet. He's a bigger star than Ciampa. So I do expect, just from the basis that he beat Ricochet, that he's going to do it again.
Yeah, and that's what I have a problem with. Because if Jericho came back to be a mid-carder, he should be elevating these mid-carders.
He's definitely not. I mean, yeah,
Right.
I mean, Ricochet. There's like a ceiling to Ricochet. There just is a ceiling to Ricochet. How much farther can he go? I guess, but there's also kind of, I believe Tommaso Ciampa can be world champion, but there might be a ceiling on him too. So it feels to me like we're not elevating like young guys. If the feud was with a young guy who like really hung with Chris Jericho, we could get behind that a little bit. But the fact that he's facing these guys who are like veterans, bro. I mean, like, if Ricochet's not 40, he's close, and Ciampa is definitely 40.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if that's who you're having your feuds with, then yeah, they're literally just like. Do you remember the rumor that Chris Jericho was going to go back to WWE? And then we were all kind of surprised when he showed back up in AEW. It was like, oh shit, Jericho's back in AEW. It almost feels to me like AEW swooped in and was like, look, we'll let you do whatever you want. Like, just you can book yourself till the rest of your contract, and then whatever you want to do after that. And he's just like picking guys who aren't doing anything and beating them.
But again, like, we talked about Ciampa just coming, and like it was a great moment that he showed up, and then they did nothing with him, and now his first feud is with Jericho, and we're all sitting here saying he's gonna lose. Like, what if Jericho is the guy he says he is? He should know that his name matters more than his in-ring ability at this point, right? So shouldn't he be elevating these guys at this point?
Well, it depends. I mean, part of it though is it depends who AEW and Tony Khan want to elevate. If Tony Khan looks at a Ricochet and says, he's almost 40 and he's not going to be the world champion. Tommaso Ciampa's 45. He's a nice hand. He's not going to be the world champion. These could be people that Jericho's beating to ultimately beat one of the young guys.
Yeah, but you don't have to do that with Chris Jericho. His name already matters. You don't have to build up Chris Jericho to
some people, you also go on Twitter before he came back, and he was washed, and he shouldn't have come back, and he should retire. And you've said it on the podcast. So I do understand that if there was a feeling maybe we need to put him in a couple positions to show he can still go, that you might have had to do that.
His matches are still bad.
I was gonna say, unfortunately, he's still showing that he probably just hang it up, but he is my GOAT, and I don't care. I'll take him as long as he wants to be there. I wish it wasn't so corny.
Yeah, I hope that changes. I completely agree with
that. There was a lot of corny on the show. That is actually my most commonly wrote word on my AEW notes is corny. And somebody I've mentioned being corny before, and god damn it, he did it again. And he did it in the dumbest way, and in the dumbest way. Kenny Omega, dude. There are two people I've written down right now that I'm going to talk about back to back that need to go to promo school. And Kenny Omega is too old for promo school. So like at this point, just I'm going to sound like I'm getting political over here. Just shut up and wrestle, man. Just shut up and wrestle. Like, I don't need to hear that man talk anymore. I don't need to hear that mwah thing. I don't need to hear that anymore. It's the corniest thing in wrestling is that catchphrase, as Kenny Omega called it, the corniest thing in all of wrestling.
Well,
And
you certainly
I
didn't
watch
seem like you were alone
Danhausen's stick
because no
every week.
one repeated. Well, no one in Texas was playing along with the shtick, so I don't think they enjoyed it either last night, or they didn't get it. But yeah, I mean, I thought that segment was weird. I thought a lot of the segments on the show were weird, but yeah, I don't know. I thought if you were gonna have Zack Sabre Jr. on the show, you should have let people know about that beforehand as well.
And that's my problem with this. Kenny Omega just babbled and babbled and babbled, and it was corny and it didn't make sense. You could tell that Kenny Omega made his name in New Japan where they don't really do promos that well. And then Zack Sabre Jr. just stood there. There was no rebuttal. There was nothing. I'm not going to see you at Forbidden Door. He just stood there. Like, what kind of promo was that? And that's where I was at. Like, you're going to have Kenny Omega say all these things and nonsense, and Zack Sabre Jr. didn't say one thing. Why not?
Well, I thought they were going to like fight. That's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
And
Something.
the fact that he just stood there and did nothing, I was like, he flew from Japan for that?
Yeah.
What?
That's where I was at. Like, after it was done and they went to commercial, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, he didn't do anything back. Like, really? Come on, do something.
Well, he did fly in from Japan and did slightly more than Ishii, who just laid down after getting attacked. So,
point.
True.
Good point. Another guy who should have taken the vacation and needs to go to promo school is Will Ospreay. This is my note about Will Ospreay. Ospreay is the nervous kid acting in his first school play. That's what I wrote down for Will Ospreay. That little thing he did where he was like, Shivani was like, "You got married this weekend," and he was like, "Yeah, but my missus said that it means so much to me that I should do it, so we can go to Hawaii whenever I want." And I was like, God damn, dude, you should have went to Hawaii. And then he said something about, so I took her upstairs, and he was basically saying he fucked the shit out of her. He said he fucked the soul out of her or something. And then he was kind of like, oh yeah. I was like, bro, what the fuck is that? And then Swerve comes out, cool as a cucumber, words just spilling out of his mouth. I was like, this is a man who knows how to cut a promo. Will Ospreay, you should have just went on your honeymoon, man. That's what you should have did this week. Come back next week. Just shut up and wrestle.
Yeah. I just am not feeling it with Ospreay, especially as chalk as we're making this tournament out to be. I think back to the last 3 years of this Owen Hart tournament. Last year, obviously, Hangman, which probably was the best storyline the company ever had in the biggest moment. The year before, which might have been at the time the best storyline that the company ever had, with Bryan Danielson winning the world title. And then the year before that with Adam Cole and MJF, which did get a little sidetracked afterwards, but the whole Brochachos thing, I mean, that was great. those guys main eventing, and with Osprey, I'm not feeling it. I mean, 100%, the guy is fantastic in the ring. He might be the best wrestler in the world, but as far as a character and as far as watching him and thinking this is the guy that we're talking about, this crowning achievement in his home country, winning the world title, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go. I don't see him as becoming the ace of AEW in that position where he's going to be what John Moxley was and what Cody Rhodes is in the WWE or Roman Reigns. I just don't see him being that number one. So I don't know. Wasn't impressed with the promo. I thought Swerve was great. Maybe want Swerve to win because he's so great. I did think the only complaint I had on Swerve's side, and I hate when AEW does this, he started talking about this 6-week hiatus, or the company had him benched for 6 weeks. I hate when they talk about stuff that we have no idea what he's talking about, but that was it.
So I'm going to give a caveat here. I've loved indie wrestling. I always have. I always will. There are two people that I know for promos more in their indies than I do as their actual wrestling. One is MJF, and the other one is Shane Swerve Strickland. So the man has always had promo work. With that being said, I have said from a very long time that Will Ospreay is not a complete pro wrestler. He's not. His in-ring storytelling is bad. He's bad at cutting a promo. I've said this for 2 years now. The whole "can you feel it, bruv" thing is not appealing to me. I know he has good matches to people who just want to see high flying action, and it reminds me of the people who say that The Expendables are a good movie. And I do like The Expendables at one point in time. Big explosions, shooting, guns, blood, stuff like that. It's a fun movie, but when you get to the actual substance, it's terrible. And I feel like that's what Will Ospreay is. Yes, it's fun to watch, but when you get to the actual thing and you're supposed to be the guy, Will Ospreay cannot be that guy. He can't. And that's why I feel like Will Ospreay fails.
Yeah, I agree with Bob 100% that it made me want Swerve to win. I want Swerve to win. I want Swerve to win this match. I want Swerve to main event All In. I want Swerve to be the champion at the end of All In, and then we can move on from there. That is what I want to happen. It's not what's going to happen, but it's what I want. All In still in London, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wembley.
And I think next year it's not, if I'm not mistaken.
I have no idea.
So
seems like they're doing a year on, year off with London. So
feels like you know, and what's a shame is that like when Ospreay went backstage and he was with the Death Riders and with John Moxley, I was like, now this is good. This is good. Ospreay's out there by himself. Shit. One other thing I didn't like Prince Nana putting down Tony Schiavone for his tight suit. Didn't like that part. It made me feel bad for the man. Poor guy thought he looked great in that suit, and Prince Nana had to eat him alive one time.
So we talked about this offline, and I want to bring it up onto the podcast. Who are we taking? Tony Schiavone or Jim Ross all time? I want it on live. On a live
Tony
podcast.
Schiavone or Jim Ross? Jim Ross.
Prime JR?
Prime JR versus Tony Schiavone. I don't even want Prime. I want the full Monty here. I want the full career.
That's
Tony Schiavone or Jim Ross.
That's not even close.
No, you don't think so?
JR in a landslide.
I think it's closer than you think it is.
Oh, hell no.
I really do.
I'm sorry, bud. No way.
I really do. I think it's closer than you think it is. Look at the crap Tony Schiavone has had to deal with compared to JR.
That doesn't make him a better commentator.
Oh, my God.
I mean, JR is synonymous with the most important era of professional wrestling. And Tony Schiavone was during the same era.
Tony Schiavone told people that would put butts in seats, and that's what won the Monday Night Wars.
For the other team.
Also, Tony Schiavone turned into a werewolf one time at Halloween Havoc. I just want to point that out too.
I'm sorry, bud. JR in a landslide.
We're gonna put a poll on social media and figure this out. I'm probably in this totally wrong here.
Put it in a poll. Mercedes Moné is going on to the finals of the Owen Cup. She defeated Timu Io Sky this week. They did go for 25 minutes though, so she must have put up a good fight. But I guess we can. I think we assume that it's going to be Mercedes and Athena, which is going to be the best match on the entire show, more than likely. And it looks like we're heading towards Mercedes and Tekla. So.
Yeah, it takes two to tango, but I just thought that match, I thought it was a great match. And Mercedes is great. I know a lot of times people don't like her, but she is an incredible wrestler. I mean, especially now with Tony Storr gone, she is the best one on AEW. And, you know, I think that she's got to win this tournament and she's got to become the champion.
You know what I thought was interesting was that I thought her gear. I liked her gear. It was like Poison Ivy, and her hair was red. I don't know if you guys took notice to that, but I was like, Poison Ivy and a spider. Interesting.
I've talked a lot of crap about Mercedes Moné and her matches. This was the best match Mercedes Moné might have had in 2-3 years. Like it really was worth watching AEW for to see this match.
I didn't think it was that.
I do. I think it was the best match she had in a very long time. With that being said, I still don't know how the whole her versus Thekla is going to be. I don't know if Thekla. Then again, I don't know if Thekla is going to have a match between here and All In. But I don't think Mercedes Moné as a face is a good idea.
Yeah, what I actually think, real talk, I think Mercedes gets cheered when she wins the title at All In, and then she comes back and does some heel shit, and we get right back to Booner. That's what I think's going to happen.
Possibility.
That's what
I think you got to do it though. I mean, I've said it for pay-per-view after pay-per-view, is finding a way to get the current crop of women without Tony in these elevated situations. And, you know, even with the face heel dynamic, I think Tekla is the best option right now to be elevated in this women's group. She seems to have the most star potential and is getting there. And you have to put her, and you have to put her with Mercedes, even if it's a little awkward.
And we talk about AEW just putting on the best matches for matches' sake. There's not a better match than Thekla versus Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, I 100%.
Like if you're gonna have one at All In, that's it.
I would expect the match to go something like Tekla's kicking the shit out of Mercedes. She's boasting, she's gloating. The crowd slowly starts to get behind Mercedes. And then by the end of it, we're cheering that she won the title. But then she's going to get right back to being a heel. And that's the way to do it, honest to God, because it is just one night. Like, who gives a... in the grand scheme of things, who really gives a shit who the crowd's cheering for? Because come the next night, or you know, in AEW's case, 3 nights later on Dynamite, whatever they want the crowd to do, they're going to work towards getting back to it. So, like, you know, for one night, who gives a shit if she's getting cheered?
And you hope for storytelling's sake that's the case. But it's AEW and storytelling's not really a thing. So,
and you talk about those poster matches, those, you know, put them on the sign type of things. Mercedes Moné is far bigger than, you know, Tekla versus Athena. No offense, but that's another person with a cap on how big of a star they're.
I would still like Athena to win that title, and it's not going to be at All In because All In is their main event, but
yeah,
I could see Athena beating Mercedes Moné for that title.
Entirely frustrating. Just based off of what Bob just said, she would be top 4 women's wrestler if she was full-time in AEW. She would be in the for sure. It would be irresponsible for her not to be.
Sure. I'm not downplaying Athena. I think she's got the potential. She could be in that spot, but she's not. So
Right.
you can't.
But if you talk about posters,
You want to put her in the main event. You have her beat her. She could beat Mercedes at Revolution or at Full Gear. But we're talking all in. You gotta have Mercedes.
I mean, we talked about how WrestleMania they were building for a poster. You want to talk about a poster? Mercedes Moné versus anyone is better than Athena versus anything. So, yeah.
Totally fair. And if history tells us anything, it's that when Mercedes does win a world championship, she loses it the first time she defends it. So, maybe Athena gets her comeback then.
Hopefully.
All right, gentlemen. Don't really have too much else to bitch about. Brodito seems to be back together. That's a positive for AEW. Bob likes CNC against the Dogs. I think it's something.
Can I just say one thing about the Brodito? That was another thing. Couldn't we do something? Could we advertise? They just were back together.
Yeah,
I didn't understand why they were back together.
It was a surprise, and then they had a backstage segment, and they were like, "Oh, it was actually a little interesting because Brody King was cutting his promo and saying, we're back together, the tag team division's on notice," and then he was like, he had a real serious look on his face, while Bandito kind of jumped up and down and was like, "Yeah, we're back together," and maybe it could just be for a Brody heel turn.
I hope
Bandito's challenging Moxley for the Continental Championship, so he's kind of pulling a little bit of a Jey Uso here, I guess, because they're back together. But he wants that singles gold.
Yeah, I really want Brody King to be a heel. I think he'd be one of the best. Then again, it's AEW. He's a big guy, so they probably want to use him correctly. So
they would just build him up to lose. That's what they would do.
Yeah. So yeah. My biggest problem with that is Sammy Guevara is supposed to be part of the Death Riders, and he started dancing mid-match, and I don't know.
Daniel Garcia, not
Daniel
Sammy Guevara.
Yeah, I knew what I meant.
And Mox was like, "Fuck this guy."
Aren't they the same guy? Isn't Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia the same guy?
I haven't seen Sammy Guevara in so long, I couldn't tell you. I do know that he just recently had a title match on Collision against Darby Allin, but I don't watch Collision. So
you watch Collision? I was about to say I don't even know what Collision
I haven't
is.
seen it in a long time.
Is that on YouTube?
Yeah.
Moxley's Garcia reactions were good though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fantastic. One day they're gonna kick the shit out of Garcia and kick him out of the Death Riders. That's gonna happen.
I hope so.
Good times. All right, gentlemen. Well, that's about it for this week's show. We'll be back next week. We'll have to do a double prediction show because not only is next weekend your Forbidden Door pay-per-view, it's also Night of Champions live from Saudi Arabia, and we'll have some predictions for that as well. And until then, enjoy your wrestling.
Bob brought around.